We got a pretty healthy amount of snow this November, but a few other precipitation types kind of snuck into the mix too. In this week's Heather's Weather Wise, I'm explaining how sleet, freezing rain, and everyone's favorite graupel forms. November can be quite a mixed bag. It's not technically winter yet, but it can certainly feel like it. Example A, this November in particular. But even if the air where we are is cold, there's still some warmer air lingering somewhere out there, and of course Lake Erie is still on the milder side too. It's that combination of the battle for winter trying to move in and summer-like weather trying to hang on that can lead to some kind of odd precipitation types. I'm not going to waste anybody's time by explaining in detail how snow forms. If there's enough moisture in the clouds and the air is cold enough when precipitation falls, it's going to be snow. Same thing with rain. If it's warm enough, that's what you're going to get. But if the air was a lot colder recently, ground temperatures are more likely to be below freezing, and any rain that falls could freeze on contact. That, of course, is freezing rain. Now, certain areas are more prone to freezing rain than others. Think bridges, overpasses, and any other elevated surfaces. Now for sleet. It can look a lot like snow as it's falling, especially at a quick glance, but remember this: sleet has a beat. You can hear it pinging off things as it hits the ground. The atmospheric setup for sleet is something that we like to call a warm air sandwich. You've got a lot of cold air a few thousand feet up, a lot of cold air immediately close to the ground, but a pretty thick layer of some milder air in between. That allows snow and ice to form up in the clouds, start falling, melt as it falls, but then refreeze before it hits the ground. By the way, sleet and hail, two totally different things. Sleet forms in winter-type storms only, and it forms as it's falling. Hail starts as snow and ice particles in the tops of warm season thunderstorm clouds where it tumbles around and grows larger before it falls. Hail is generally much larger than sleet pellets. Graupel is the real weirdo here. It forms in supercooled clouds where water droplets and snow particles coexist. Some of those water droplets freeze onto the snowflakes, making something that looks like a tiny styrofoam ball. This stuff always gets people talking on social media. Speaking of, when you see a potpourri of wintry precipitation, be sure to capture it with your phone and send it to us on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag #BeyondTwo. Your reports help give us an idea of what's happening throughout Western New York. That's going to do it for this edition of Heather's Weather Wise. I'll see you next week with a new topic, but until then, remember, it's good to be a geek.